Okay, so I am a little bit tired. Quite a bit more tired than I expected I would have been once I started. However, I do think I still have the strength for at least 3 chapters, maybe, depending on how long the chapters are and how many mistakes I make. And probably also how many characters there are, how many different characters there are there who I will have to voice differently, which would require more energy than I would otherwise expect. Okay, okie dokie. I do have a couple of things I wanted to do really quickly first before we start with some Halo. Before that, I have a couple of videos saved up. I think I wanted to cover them like last stream or one of the past 2 streams. However, I missed the opportunity. And so here we are now. It's still relevant though, it's still extremely relevant because the videos were linked to me before the White House, the Congress A. Lamau hearing. And so the fact that that has happened since then is a good sign, because then it means I am still recovering something topical. Oh hey, at Mr. Meow Meow Chococha, when did you get in here? Wait a second, why are you saying stare? You're not the cat watches. Thinky face, something seems a little sus. RB sus. Something seems a little sus. Makes me think you're a sussy wussy. How are you today? I was planning on streaming earlier. I was planning on going to the range. I was planning on making a cheesecakes. But I have been awake for, what time is it? It's 7:30 here, so I've been awake for about 16 hours. Oh hey, at the cat watches, when did you get in here? I've been up for about 15 or 16 hours now. And so I am reaching the limits of my perfect consciousness, my ability to maintain perfect awakeness. But it's okay. I have dealt with worse and less sleeping in the past. I haven't seen, is the chat working on screen? I didn't check. See if it's working correctly. What if I kill it? Or what if I refresh the cache? Uh-oh. I think it's worked. Hello? Let me type hello and see if the chat works. Chat ogrele? Question mark? Oh, okay. Wait, what? It's so brief. It was there for like 2 seconds. What happened? Um, more cakes. The sugars will keep you awake. Yeah, but that's the problem. I don't have a cake right now. That's the issue. I was hoping. I'd have time to like work on the cake a bit with the Paladins. But I don't know why the chat's not working. Okay, backup chat. Let's go to... Okay, here should be the backup YouTube chat. That one's there. And then the backup Twitch chat here. Okay. I don't know why the other chat's broken. Okay, whatever. It's okay. I learned from Joker in The Dark Knight. You gotta do everything yourself. Can't trust anybody these days. I brought a backup. I have like 3 backup chats for Twitch and like 2 for YouTube. Okay. So first things first. I have an Ayla Mao thing that I gotta watch. Okay, so here, this is a thingy on Twitter. Let's see. This is an unreliable person, so I am already hesitant to accept whatever this person says. Quote, it's called the Coomburgas video. Is it trying to say Borgor? Is that what this is trying to... Is this a troll? My troll alert, my bullshit alert is extremely high right now. Almost as high as my dick. This is called the Burgaz video, which is a close-up of a craft, so close that you can see the occupants. It is 100% real, said the person who is presenting something that is not 100% real. And I was there as it was filmed. Roger Layer. This is 100% genuine footage. Jacques Valii. Okay, this is my first time seeing this. I may have seen it years ago, actually. If it's from 2008, I have always been interested in the Ayla Mao phenomena, so this might have been up my alley.
This is the video called the Comburgus video, which is a close-up of
the Comburger video.
Craft, so close that you can see the occupants. It is 100% real, and I was there as that was filmed.
The way this is playing so far makes it seem like it's a screamer. Like you get the at the end here is gonna scream at you and jump something up. That looks spooky and uncanny.
The whole footage has been analyzed for a more scientific board for 2.5
I hate that flashing. What? It's gonna give me a seizure. Why the fuck did you do that?
weeks, frame by frame.
It's an evil mouse!
Pixel by pixel, and this is 100% genuine footage.
I don't... Oh, where is it that they're saying that the occupants are? Where are these Ayla Maos? Based off the way the camera is moving, the hand jittery, makes it seem as if it's like a microscope looking at something, but I can't quite explain the background unless they put like a very fine cardboard, not cardboard, construction paper in the back that they worked very hard to make uniform. I'm not sure I see what he means by you can see the occupants. Oh, right there. Okay, that's okay. So if this is the occupant of this craft, is this supposed to be his head? How is he... how does his body fit into this craft here? Is this being supposed to be like, is this the head and then he has like octopus, multiple feet this way? He doesn't have a long height body like we do? Arbisus. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I'll have to look into this some more. But yeah, that's we'll see if if any further information is revealed about this particular incident in subsequent Elamau hearings at Congress. Arbisus. Temiao needs mod roles to be a good Joker henchman. Does the Meow Meow account not have mod roles? Add as moderator. Standard moderator can review and remove chat message. Here are my options for modding your Meow Meow account. Standard moderator can review and remove chat messages and hide or put users in timeout. Or managing moderator can manage blocked words and change chat modes in live, and also has capabilities of standard moderators. Well, you're on your phone, so I don't think you're gonna even want to bother with all of that stuff. Okay, whatever. You have full mod privileges. Don't mess it up, or Mama spank. Okay, were there any other Elamau videos that you guys wanted me to have a look at before we jump into the Galo? Let's see. I did see this video that a pretty cool guy posted who made a pretty cool whatchamacallit. A pretty cool guy who made a pretty cool image. A pretty cool Blender SFM artwork. Someone like that did a pretty cool art, and he linked this. Hello, Honk. How are you? Oh, hey, Ed Honk. When did you get in here? We haven't used the hey today. Let's put hey. But yeah. This, I wonder where they got the idea for this. For this ring world. Actually, now that I think about it, what is exactly Discworld? I have heard about it a lot. Isn't it something written by, what's his face? The guy, Neil Gaiman? Oh, Terry Pratchett. Okay. Discworld. I have heard of Discworld several times in passing, but I'm not too familiar with what exactly Discworld is. Set on the Discworld, a flat planet, a flat Earth, a flat planet, balanced on the backs of 4 elephants, which in turn stand on the back of a giant turtle. 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 Giant turtle. The series began in '83 with The Color of Magic and continued until the final novel, The Shepherd's Crown, which was published in 2015. Following his death, RIP. The books frequently parody or take inspiration from classic works, usually fantasy or science fiction, as well as mythology, folklore, and fairy tales, and often use them for satirical parallels with cultural, political, and scientific issues. That's cool. Maybe I'll go ahead and read these as well. Also, in the text here, it says, yeah, it's perfect timing. It says, if Earth ever becomes uninhabitable, then we could make these ring worlds. Humanity can migrate to a habitat like this. I'm not sure why we can't do both. What if Earth is still perfectly habitable? Why don't we just build these anyway? It would be like a great staging area with which to further refuel spaceships and everything. That seems like a good idea to me. I don't know about you guys. But yeah, that is, I think, all of the few two thingies that I wanted to cover before we get started. Okay, let me bring up Galo, the Fall of Reach. Oh, yeah. So, a pretty cool guy made a pretty cool birthday video for me, in which he was playing some pretty cool video games and providing some top-notch commentary. And in this video, he said that he doesn't know whether or not I like dinosaurs. And I think I wanted to cover that real quick. I want to see if I can find the dinosaurs. So when I had this birthday, the movie Godzilla just came out. This one, the Godzilla when he's in New York with Matthew Broderick. And I think because I went to go see this movie with my parents, and like I guess I liked it because I was a kid and I like strong, spooky dinosaurs. Because we watched this movie for school at the end of the school year. So because my birthday is in July, I never got any Flick Director of Oneself. I think that's the one. Yeah, that name does sound familiar. So I think, yeah, I never. Typically, throughout the school year, whenever it was a kid's birthday, we would have like a class birthday party for like a couple of minutes. They'd have cake, they'd have, I think, candy and stuff, potato chips, yummy. But because my birthday was in July, I never got any class birthdays because it was literally way far away from either the end of the school year or the beginning of the school year. But anyway, I think it was kindergarten, and I got we went to McDonald's for my birthday party, I guess, and then let me see if I can. I imagine I can find them on eBay. Let's go eBay. Let's look for Godzilla toys or something. 1990s Godzilla toys. It's not gonna give my... Okay, I don't see any. As long as it doesn't dox me, I should be okay. Oh, wait, it might be this one. If it's not this one, I gotta open. I know it's gonna leak something if I'm not careful here. Oh, okay, yeah. It does show something that I don't want out there. Okay, so it may have been something like this. It was definitely, you could definitely articulate the arms like this. I remember this. I don't remember about the arms, or about the legs rather. So I got a Godzilla toy kind of like this. Kaiju. And then 1990s dinosaur toys. Yeah, so I got the big I got the big Godzilla one. It's just showing me Barney. What the heck? Look, I type in 1990s dinosaur toys and then it's showing up Barney. I'm in here. It may have been like this. Be right back, kids. I don't know. It's showing the this other this other dinosaurs TV show. No, I don't think it's here. I would have to like do quite a bit of research to find it. But yeah, so I think I got this big one, and then everybody else got like a smaller one. It was just, I believe it was just a regular a regular dinosaur toy, not anything at all to do with Godzilla. But I guess that was like the theme. It looks legit. What specific movie was it merch for? I don't know. Let me check. So that was 98? Godzilla, New York. Okay, so this movie was 98. Let's see if there's any merch for that. Godzilla 1998 toys. No, okay. Yeah, so this looks like the Godzilla from the movie. Definitely this one and not this kaiju, more Japanese looking one. But my toy was kind of like this, so I'm pretty sure my parents just got cheap knockoff Godzilla toys made by a Chinese child. It's paid 2 cents per month, 2 American cents per month. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I may have gotten one of these as well, but not for that party. For like just in general. And then there were like these other, because these also look familiar. I think I had these. Fuck, dude, I'm literally that meme right now. I'm literally that meme where the guy asks his mom, "Where are my toys?" And then mom says, "I threw them out 20 years ago." Let's see, I think it's like a soy jack meme. Soy jack meme. Mom threw out my toys, something like that. Fuck, I'm having such flashbacks for this. I have the meme somewhere. I'll have to find it. But yeah, I think for the party I got something like this, but I think after the movie I got one of these. I got these little ones and then the big one, from what I recall. Do I have any Bionicles? No, I do not. I never got into Bionicles. Barney. Maybe you can find it based on what piece of media was associated. I don't think the toys were part of McDonald's. I think my parents bought them and then they distributed them at the party, which just so happened to be at McDonald's. I don't think they were correlated at all. I don't think there was any partnership between. I don't think it was like a Happy Meal or a kids meal or anything. Me loves to be on Nichols. Yeah, no. The only thing I knew about Bionicles is that sometimes there were ads on TV for Bionicles, and I thought they were cool. But I never got any Bionicles, unfortunately. Okay, the last thing I want to do before I start reading is look up how to pronounce this word. Octanus. Octanus. Octanus pronunciation. Oceanus? No. Octanus. How to pronounce octants? It's giving me literally every incorrect word that I did not ask for. What if I put octanus in quotations? Quotations. Oh, this website has like a voice player thingy. I don't know if I trust that. I think it's going to be super loud. Okay, I'm going to mute. I'm going to mute this in case it's super loud. So you guys will be spared the potential ear rape. Let's see. Okay, it's not that loud, but I don't think this is the proper pronunciation. Listen for yourselves.
Octanues.
Octanues. Okay, so I will go with I will go with Octanus because I think that sounds the coolest. Octanus. What is being read? What is being read is Halo: The Fall of Reach. We are starting on chapter 15, picking up from last time when we finished chapter 14. Every time I hop into certain people's Discord and they're talking about the deep lore and all these names and variations of Bionicles, I'm just so lost. I have no idea what's going on. What do all these words mean? What language is this? Let's see. Okay, let me finish up reading these last couple of chats and then we'll get started. Me autistically walked into a McDonald's as a kid and asked if they had any cool Bionicles, and some based Chad McDonald's worker gave me the whole box they had in the back. What? That sounds like a didn't happen story. No joke. Do you still have this box? This alleged box of entire set of Bionicles? That box would be worth hundreds of dollars now. Sounds like a major steal. Still has some in the package from McDonald's, and me grabbed them when me parents tried to sell them in garage sale. And yes, me friends judge me, but me has gold mine. What is a Discord? It's like when you're making music, but then it doesn't sound at the proper pitch. That's when it is not in harmony. It's an investment. Have you looked up the individual or the total prices to see what your potential value of it is? Because that'd be pretty cool if you know how to hold on to it. If it'll just keep increasing, it's probably worth more than the S&P 500 than a single stock of it. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna drink my waters and then practice my throat movements, my throat sounds, and then we'll begin. The good thing is that this time I haven't had any hot dogs. So hopefully my burpings will be kept to a minimum. When my friend asked my ex-boyfriend what his ethnicity was, he told her he was... That's one of those bionicle thingies, isn't it? I've seen that word before. Okay, so last time on Halo: The Fall of Reach, we started on chapter, I believe chapter 9 or 10. Okay, so last time we had the young Spartans in training went on their first ever actual mission with live fire and a real goal to secure a rebel colonel. And then what else happened next? Oh, and then let me see if I can find it. I think it's no, it's further back. No, it's further forward. And then a vice admiral came to the Spartan training base, and he revealed to the Spartans that they had made contact with Harvest. Who made contact at Harvest? A new enemy. An enemy who said, "Your destruction is the will of the gods, and we are their instrument." Who could it possibly be? Uh-oh. Furthermore, the Spartans went to this planet Chiseti 4 to retrieve a secret weapon called Project Mjolnir with Dr. Halsey. And what exactly is Project Mjolnir? It is an armor. Super cool armor that does what you think. And so they tested it, and then as they were picking up their armor, a Covenant, what is it, a carrier, a frigate? I think it was a carrier. The UNSC, I think the Commonwealth is a frigate. Well, regardless, the UNSC Commonwealth is engaging actually no, it's a corvette. I think that they're fighting is engaging a Covenant corvette, and then they are losing. But Master Chief has a plan, and he nukes it from the inside out, which is somewhat reminiscent of the video game Halo Reach. Maybe there's some connection. And then on this mission to destroy the Corvette, they lost one Spartan, Sam. He was at the center of the nuke, and then he has become Death, the nuked of the Spartans. And then the final lines of chapter 14 was, Sam's death had shown them that the Covenant were not invincible. They could be beaten, at a high cost, however. John finally understood what the chief had meant, the difference between a life wasted and a life spent. John also knew that humanity had a fighting chance, and he was ready to go to war. It's also the same year Lord of the Rings and Shrek came out in theater. Did they really? They did come out in the same year. What? Is that when there were Bionicles in McDonald's? 2001? McDonald's sold toys of them marketing them as Tohunga. Okay, well, you guys have fun with your Bionicles in the chat. If I see something I can comment on, then I will do so. However, we will now commence with Halo the Fall of Reach, Section 3, Sigma Octanus. Momentum. I think I described this last time. The draft of earlier renditions of the front cover. Okay. Let me get my last couple coughs out. Okay, here we go. Chapter 15. I don't know why I read that like if I was about to follow it up with Burger King foot lettuce. Chapter 15. 0000 hours. July 17th, 2552. Military calendar. UNSC Remote Scanning Outpost Archimedes, on the edge of the Sigma Octanus system. Ensign William Lovell. Is that Lovell? Lavelle? I think I'll pronounce it Lavelle. That seems like it might be the appropriate pronunciation. Ensign William Lavelle scratched his head, yawned, and sat down at his duty station. The wraparound view screen warmed to his presence. "Good morning, Ensign Lavelle," the computer said. "Morning, sexy," he said. It had been months since the ensign had seen a real woman. Well, same. I haven't seen a real woman since I was born. It had been months since the ensign had seen a real woman. The cold female voice of the computer was the closest thing he was getting to a date. Voice print match. The computer. What is a computer? Voice print match. The computer confirmed. Please enter password. He typed, "There was once a girl." The ensign had never taken his duty too seriously. Maybe that's why he only made it through his second year at the academy. And maybe that's why he had been on Archimedes Station for the last year, stuck with third shift. Third shift? It's always third shift's fault. And maybe that's why he had been on Archimedes Station for the last year, stuck with third shift. But that suited him fine. Please re-enter password. He typed more carefully this time. There once was a girl. After first contact with the Covenant, he had almost been conscripted straight out of school. Instead, he had actually volunteered. I know, right? I've never seen a real woman. Has anyone here seen a real woman? I don't know. They're as rare as Ayla Mouse. Maybe we need to have a White House hearing on whether or not women are reals. Maybe. Instead, he had actually volunteered. Admiral Cole had defeated the Covenant at Harvest in 2531. His victory was publicized on every vid and holo throughout the inner and outer colonies and all the way to Earth. That's why Lavelle didn't try to dodge the enlistment officers. He had thought he'd watch a few battles from the bridge of a destroyer, fire a few missiles, rack up the victories, and be promoted to captain within a year. His excellent grades gave him instant admission to OCS on Luna. There was one small detail, however, the UNSC propaganda machine had left out of their broadcasts. Cole had won only because he outnumbered the Covenant 3-1. And even then, he had lost 2/3 of his fleet. Ensign Lavelle had served on the UNSC destroyer Gorgon for 4 years. He had been promoted to first lieutenant, then busted down to second lieutenant, and finally to ensign for insubordination and gross incompetence. Busted down, huh? The only reason they hadn't drummed him out of service was that the UNSC needed every man and woman they could get their hands on. While on the Gorgon, he and the rest of Admiral Cole's fleet had sped among the outer colonies, chasing and being chased by the Covenant. After 4 years of space duty, Lavelle had seen a dozen worlds glassed and billions murdered. He had simply broken under the strain. He closed his eyes and remembered. No, he hadn't broken. He was just scared of dying, like everyone else. Please keep your eyes open, the computer told him. Processing retinal scan. He had drifted from office work to lower priority assignments and finally landed here a year ago. By that time, there were no more outer colonies. The Covenant had destroyed them all and were pressing inexorably inward, slowly taking the inner colonies. There had been a few isolated victories, but he knew it was only a matter of time before the aliens wiped the human race out of existence. Women can be found IRL. Men must be brave enough to say no to pizza. Oh, must be brave. Must be brave enough to say no to pizza, work out, and go outside. Wait, whose name are we talking about? Remembered whose name? Doug? Doug, huh? But he knew it was only a matter of time before the aliens wiped the human race out of existence. Login complete, the computer announced. Ensign Lavelle's identity record was displayed on the monitor. In his academy picture, he looked 10 years younger. Neatly trimmed, jet black hair, toothy grin, and sparkling green. Why am I adding a G at the end of green? Green. Neatly trimmed, jet black hair, toothy grin, and sparkling green eyes. Today his hair was unkempt, and the spark was long gone from his eyes. Please read General Order 0988318-1 before proceeding. It's like Sam carrying Frodo. It's kind of like, but not exactly. The ensign had memorized this stupid thing, but the computer would track his eye motions, make sure he read it anyway. He opened the file, and it popped on screen. Gring. United States. What the heck? My brain is so shattered. United States Space Command. United Nations Space Command Emergency Priority Order 0988318-1. Encryption code read public key file/first light. From UNSC NAVCON Fleet HT Ward. To all UNSC personnel. Subject General Order 0988318-1. The Cole Protocol. Classification Restricted BGX Directive. The Cole Protocol. To safeguard the inner colonies and Earth, all UNSC vessels or stations must not be captured with intact navigation databases that may lead Covenant forces to human civilian population centers. If any Covenant forces are detected, 1. Activate selective purge of databases on all ship-based and planetary data networks. 2. Initiate triple screen check to ensure all data has been erased and all backups neutralized. 3. Execute viral data scavengers. Download from UNSC. They have their own protocol? What the heck? I guess separate from Cole Protocol, they have their own network protocol. Download from UNSC TTP EPWW Cole Protocol /virtual scav /FBR.091. 4. If retreating from Covenant forces, all ships must enter slipstream space with randomized vectors not directed toward Earth, the inner colonies, or any other human population center. 5. In case of imminent capture by Covenant forces, all UNSC ships must self-destruct. Violation of this directive will be considered an act of treason, and pursuant to UNSC military law articles JAG 845-P and JAG 7556-L. Such violations are punishable by life imprisonment or execution. End file. Press Enter if you understand these orders. Ensign Lavelle pressed Enter. The UNSC wasn't taking any chances, and after everything he had seen, He didn't blame them. His scanning windows appeared on the view screen, full of spectroscopic. His scanning windows appeared on the view screen, full of spectros. Why is my brain panicking right before I say the word spectroscopic? Spectroscopic. His scanning windows appeared on the view screen, full. There it is again. My brain panicked. My brain is too nervous to say spectroscopic. Spectroscopic. His scanning windows appeared on the view screen, full of spectroscopic tracers and radars, and lots of noise. Archimedes station cycled 3 probes into and out of slipstream space. Each probe sent out radar pings and analyzed the spectrum from radio to X-rays, then re-entered normal space and broadcast the data back to the station. The problem with slipstream space was that the laws of physics never worked the way they were supposed to. Exact positions, times, velocities, even masses were impossible to measure with any real accuracy. Ships never knew exactly where they were or exactly where they were going. Every time the probes returned from their 2-second journey, the Great Journey, it's a 2-second journey. Every time the probes returned from their 2-second journey, they could appear exactly where they had left, or 3 kilometers distant. Not 3 kilometers. I totally misread that. They could appear exactly where they had left, or 3 million kilometers distant. Sometimes they never returned at all. Drones had to be sent after the probes before the process could be repeated. Because of this slipperiness in the interdimensional space, UNSC ships traveling between star systems might arrive 500 million kilometers off course. The curious properties of slip space also made this assignment a joke. Ensign Lavelle was supposed to watch for pirates or black market runners trying to sneak by, and, most importantly, for the Covenant. This station had never logged so much as a Covenant probe silhouette, and that was the reason he had specifically requested this dead-end assignment. It was safe. What he did see with regularity were trash dumps from UNSC vessels, clouds of primordial atomic hydrogen, even the occasional comet that had somehow plowed into the slipstream. Lavelle yawned, kicked his feet up onto the control console, and closed his eyes. He nearly fell out of his chair when the comm board contact alert pinged. "Oh no," he whispered, fear and shame at his own cowardice forming. Oh my goodness, I have my own fear and shame forming in my throat. What the heck? What happened there? The Covenant's trying to choke me. Kind of like a certain white elite miner, huh? Trying to do the same thing with Cat. "Oh no," he whispered, fear and shame at his own cowardice forming a cold lump in his belly. "Don't let it be the Covenant. Don't let it. Not here." He quickly activated the controls and traced the contact signal back to the source. Alpha probe. The probe had detected an incoming mass, a slight arc to its trajectory pulled by the gravity of Sigma Octantis. It was large. A cloud of dust, perhaps? If it was, it would soon distort and scatter. Ensign Lavelle sat up straighter in his chair. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing as well. Ensign Lavelle sat up straighter in his chair. Beta probe cycled back. The mass was still there, and as solid as before. It was the largest reading Ensign Lavelle had ever seen. 20,000 tons. That couldn't be a Covenant ship. They didn't get that big. And the silhouette was a bumpy, spherical shape, It didn't match any of the Covenant ships in the database. It had to be a rogue asteroid. But now that I sat up, I gotta put my seat a little higher too. What the heck? I just became a little taller. I had some tomatoes earlier, and I think they want to get out of my tummy. Okay, where did we leave off? It had to be a rogue asteroid. And the silhouette was a bumpy, spherical shape. It didn't match any of the Covenant ships in the database. It had to be a rogue asteroid. He tapped his stylus on the desk. What if it wasn't an asteroid? He'd have to purge the database and enable the self-destruct mechanism for the outpost. But what could the Covenant want way out here? Gamma probe reappeared. The mass readings were unchanged. Oh no, here's my kryptonite again. Spectroscopic analysis was inconclusive, which was normal for probe reading at this distance. The mass was 2 hours out at its present velocity. Its projected why are there projected and then trajectory right next to each other? I think the two J sounds might be what typically makes me hiccup. The mass was 2 hours out at its present velocity. Its projected trajectory was hyperbolic, a quick swing near the star, and then it would pass invisibly out of the system and be forever gone. He noted that its trajectory brought it close to Sigma Octantis 4, which, if the rock were in real space, would be cause for alarm. In slip space, however, it could pass through the planet and no one would notice. Ensign Lavelle relaxed and sent the retrieval drones after the 3 probes. By the time they had got the probes back, though, the mass would be long gone. He stared at the last image on screen. Was it worth sending an immediate report to Sigma Octantis? Oh my goodness, Sigma Octantis. Was it worth sending an immediate report to Sigma Octantis, Com? They'd make him send his probes out without a proper recovery, and the probes would likely get lost after that. A supply ship would have to be sent out here to replace them. Why don't they have any backups? I would imagine that it would make logistical sense to have several on hand, at least 3. Okay, I'm not sure. The UNSC knows better than I do. I'm sure they do. A supply ship would have to be sent out here to replace them. The station would have to be inspected and recertified, and he'd receive a thorough lecture on what did and did not constitute a valid emergency. No, there was no need to bother anyone over this. The only ones who would be really interested were the high forehead types at UNSC Astrophysics, and they could review the data at their leisure. He logged the anomaly and attached it to his hourly update. Ensign Lavelle kicked up his boots and reclined, once again feeling perfectly safe in his little corner of the universe. It's probably just this chapter that sounds smart, since it's trying to illustrate how his task is fairly simple, fairly monotonous, but Maybe the fact that he didn't send this info to the required people, maybe. Maybe the simplicity and routineness of his job may have been a big mistake. Chapter 16. 0300 hours. July 17th, 2552. Military calendar. UNSC destroyer Iroquois. Is it Iroquois? Or Iroquois? Is it French or American? UNSC destroyer Iroquois en route patrol in the Sigma Octantis system. Commander Jacob Keyes stood on the bridge of the Iroquois. Blackton Keyes. He leaned against the brass railing and surveyed the stars in the distance. He wished the circumstances of his current command were more auspicious, but experienced officers were in short supply these days, and he had his orders. He walked around the circular bridge, examining the monitors and displays of engine status. He paused at the screens showing the stars fore and aft. He couldn't quite get used to the view of deep space again. The stars were so vivid, and here so different from the stars near Earth. The Iroquois had rolled out of space dock at Reach, one of the UNSC's primary naval yards, just 3 months ago. They hadn't even installed her AI yet. Like good officers, the elaborate artificially intelligent computer systems were also in dangerously short supply. Still, Iroquois was fast, well armored, and armed to the teeth. He couldn't ask for a finer vessel. Unlike the frigates that Commander Keyes had toured on before, the Meriwether Lewis and Midsummer Night, this ship was a destroyer. She was almost as heavy as both those vessels combined, but she was only 7 meters longer. Some in the fleet thought the massive ships were unwieldy in combat, too slow and cumbersome. What those critics forgot was that a UNSC destroyer sported 2 MAC guns, 26 oversized Archer missile pods, and 3 nuclear warheads. Unlike other fleet ships, she carried no single-ship fighters. Instead, her extra mass came from the nearly 2 meters of titanium A battleplate armor that covered her from stem to stern. The Iroquois could dish out and take a tremendous? That's gonna be. I'm gonna make a food. I'm gonna make a dish, and I'm gonna call it the tremendous. The Iroquois could dish out and take a tremendous amount of punishment. Someone at the shipyard had appreciated. I thought it said approached because my mouse was in the way. Someone at the shipyard had appreciated the Iroquois for what she was, too. 2 long streaks of crimson war paint had been applied to her port and starboard flanks. Strictly non-regulation, and it would have been good. Strictly non-regulation, and it would have to go. But secretly, Commander Keyes liked the ornamentation. He sat in the commander's chair and watched his junior officers at their stations. Incoming transmissions, Lieutenant Dominique reported. Status reports from Sigma Octantis 4 and also the Archimedes. Status reports from Sigma Octantis 4 and also the Archimedes sensor outpost. Pipe them through my monitor, Commander Keyes said. Dominique had been one of his students at the academy. He had transferred to Luna from the Université de Astrophysique. How French should I make it sound? From the University of Astrophysics in Paris. How would we pronounce this one? Université de Astrophysique. Something like that, right? I don't know any. The only French I know is oui oui and sacre bleu. I don't know I don't know too many proper French pronunciations. I guess I'll just read it in English. Dominique had been one of his students at the academy. He had transferred to Luna from the University of Astrophysics in Paris after his sister was killed in action. He was short, nimbly athletic, and he rarely cracked a smile. He was always business. Keyes appreciated that. Commander Keyes was less impressed, however, with the rest of his bridge crew. I mixed up crew and Q. The spectrum, huh? Yeah, it's the spectrograph of the spectrometer of the spectroscope that's identifying how far along the spectrum the Covenant are. Commander Keyes was less impressed, however, with the rest of his bridge officers. Lieutenant Hikowa Lieutenant Hikawa manned the weapons console. Her long fingers and slender arms slowly checked. I thought it said cracked, but it did not say cracked. It says checked. Her long fingers and slender arms slowly checked the status of the ordnance with all the deliberation of a sleepwalker. What the heck? She's a skinwalker. Sus. That's why she has long fingers and slender arms, like a skinwalker or a Wendigoon, a Wendigoosie. What the heck? What's up, Patches? When'd you get up here? What happened? Let's see if I can get Patches on camera. Actually, I don't even know if my camera is properly set up. Let me check real quick. Okay, this looks fine. Look, it's a Patches. What's up, Patches? What happened? Look, she's a little kitty. What's up, little kitty? Look over here. She's gonna leave. I guess if she's gonna chill over here, I'll just keep this. I'll keep the camera on. Plowed into the slipstream, huh? I guess I'll have to type this in here. It seems like Mr. Apyamya is a little behind. It seems like you're a little behind on the DVR. Okay. Let's hope that Patches doesn't start biting me or anything. Because she likes to bite. Yeah, the way to eat miner, right? Okay. Where did we leave off? Top of the left. Lieutenant Hikawa manned the weapons console. Her long fingers and slender arms slowly checked the status of the ordnance with all the deliberation of a sleepwalker. Yeah, see, you were behind. I knew it. No, Patches isn't. She's hiding from the camera. What's up, Patches? Look at my little baby kitty. She's a little baby. And she likes to cuddle. And she likes to bite. And she likes to get water all over the kitchen floor. And she likes to press my keyboard. Okay, here. Here's what we'll do. Like, you stay there. I'll move the keyboard over this way away from you. Okay. You want to sit here? Okay, you stay here, okay? You stay here. She wants to lay down here and hear me read Galo, The Fall of Preach. She's probably gonna get spooked though when I do some of my voice acting for certain characters who she hates my voices for characters who have like a growly, gravelly voice. I think she hates. I think I think she would hate my grave mind voice. No, look, come here. Come here. Give it to us, precious. I want it because it's my birthday and I want it. Come here. Okay, let me see if I give her the Pikachu. It's the Pikachu's. Look at the Pikachu's. Want the Pikachu's? Come over here. Okay. She keeps interrupting about the Lieutenant Hikawa. Let's see, her long fingers and slender arms slowly checked the status of the ordnance with all the deliberation of a sleepwalker. Her dark hair was always falling into her eyes, too. Hot, she sounds like a goth mummy. Oddly, her record showed that she had survived several battles with the Covenant. So perhaps her lack of enthusiasm was merely battle fatigue. Are you gonna jump? You're gonna leave already? You're gonna stay here. Oh, she killed the Pikachu. He's on the floor now. Lieutenant Hall stood post at ops. She seemed competent enough. Her uniform was always freshly pressed. Her blonde... I wish she would press me. Her uniform was always freshly pressed. I guess the keyboard made a sound there. I'm gonna have to... What? Okay. I think we're good. I think she's ready to stay down. Down on the floor. Hopefully. Lieutenant Hall stood post at ops. She seemed competent enough. Her uniform was always freshly pressed. Her blonde hair trimmed exactly at the regulation 16 centimeters. She had authored 7 physics papers on slipspace communications. The only problem was that she was always smiling and trying to impress him. What if she's trying to do something more than impress him? What if she's trying to get him to press her in a certain different way? Or what if she's trying to press him, his skull or something, at midnight? Whoa. The only problem was that she was always smiling and trying to impress him, occasionally by showing up her fellow officers. Keyes disapproved of such displays of ambition. Manning navigation, however, was his most problematic officer, Lieutenant Jaggers. It might have been that navigation was the commander's strong suit, so anyone else in that position never seemed to be up to par. On the other hand, Lieutenant Jaggers was moody, and when Keyes had come on... On the other hand, Lieutenant Jaggers was moody, and when Keyes had come abroad... Oh, I don't know. My brain misread aboard like 3 different ways, 4 different ways. Okay, here we go. On the other hand, Lieutenant Jaggers was moody, and when Keyes had come abroad... aboard, all aboard. all aboard the midnight train. On the other hand, Lieutenant Jaggers was moody, and when Keyes had come aboard, the man's small hazel eyes seemed glazed. He could have sworn he had caught the man on duty with liquor on his breath, too. He had ordered a blood test. The results were negative. "Order, sir," Jaggers asked. "Continue on this heading, Lieutenant. We'll finish our patrol around Sigma Octantis and then accelerate and enter slipspace." "Aye, sir." Commander Keyes eased into his seat and detached the tiny monitor from his arm. Commander Keyes eased into his seat and detached the tiny monitor from the armrest. He read the hourly report from the Archimedes sensor. Sensor outpost. The log of the large mass was curious. It was too big to be even the largest Covenant carrier. Yet something was oddly familiar about this shape. He retrieved his pipe from his jacket, lit it, inhaled a puff, and exhaled the He retrieved his pipe from his jacket, lit it, inhaled a puff, and exhaled the fragrant smoke through his nose. Keyes would never even have thought about smoking on the other vessels he had served on. But here, well, command had its privileges. He pulled up his files transferred from the academy, several theoretical papers that had recently caught his interest. One, he thought, might apply to the outpost's unusual reading. That paper had initially sparked his interest because of its author. He had never forgotten his first assignment with Dr. Catherine Halsey, or the names of any of the children they had observed. He opened the file and read, United Nations Space Command Astrophysics, Journal 034-23-01. Date, May 9th, 2540. Military calendar. Encryption code, none. Public key. Is this supposed to be NA? I don't think so. NA as in N-A. Not applicable. But there is no dash. It's just N and A together. Public key, NA. Authors, Lieutenant Commander. I guess I gotta go figure out how to pronounce this name. Might as well. Do it now. If he's gonna appear here anyway. Let's see. Halo, Spartan. Not Spartan. Let's just do Commander. I'm pretty sure I've been pronouncing it incorrectly this entire time. Halo, oh my god. There is a video here, but how to pronounce? Okay, let me mute this again, just in case it's super loud, which is a very real concern, a very real possibility. Here, Fagid. Okay, we'll start going with Fagid. Fagid, because it sounds like another cool word that starts with an FA sound. Fagid. Authors, Lieutenant Commander Fagid, 034, Service Number, Classified. UNSC Office of Naval Intelligence. Subject, Dimensional Mass Space Compressions in Shaw Fujikawa. Dimensional Mass Space Compressions in Shaw Fujikawa, aka Slipstream Space. Classification NA. Start file. Abstract. The space-bending properties of mass in normal space are well described by Einstein's general relativity. Such distortions, however, are complicated by the anomalous quantum gravitational effects in Shaw Fujikawa, SF spaces. Using loop string analysis, it can be shown that a large mass bends space in SF space more than general relativity predicts by an order of magnitude. This bending He's a space bender. They're literally in the same universe as Avatar. This bending may explain how several small objects clustered closely in SF space have been reported erroneously as a single larger mass. Press enter to continue. Commander Keyes switched back to the silhouette from the Archimedes report. The leading edge almost looked like the bulbous head of a whale. That realization chilled him to the core. What if it's a huge, massive... Well, what do they call it in Austin Powers when they're looking up at space? At Dr. Evil's, his space thingy? It's a huge, massive wiener. It's a major dick. It's a massive, ginormous cucumber. The leading edge almost looked like the bulbous head of a whale. That realization chilled him to the core. He quickly opened the UNSC database of all known Covenant ships. He scanned them until he found the three-dimensional representation of one of their medium-sized warships. He rotated it into 3/4 profile. He overlaid the image on the silhouette, scaled it back a little. It was a perfect match. Lieutenant Dominique, get Fleet Comm ASAP. Priority Alpha. I don't know. That second part sounded like keys, but I'll keep working on it. The lieutenant snapped straight in his chair. Yes, sir. The bridge officers looked at the commander, then exchanged glances with one another. Commander Keyes brought up a map of the system on his datapod. Datapod? On his metapod? Commander Keyes brought up a map of the system on his datapad. The silhouette monitored by the outpost was on. The silhouette monitored by the outpost was on a direct course for Sigma Octanus 4. That confirmed his theory. Bring us about to course 07. Bring us about to course 047, Lieutenant Jaggers. Lieutenant Hall, push the reactors to 100%. Aye, Commander, Lieutenant Jaggers replied. Reactor running hot, sir, Hall reported. Now exceeding recommended operational parameters. ETA. Jaggers calculated, then looked up. 43 minutes, he replied. Too slow, Commander Keyes muttered. Reactor to 130%, Lieutenant Hall. She hesitated. Sir? Do it. Yes, sir. She moved as if someone had electrically shocked her. She got shocked by a Pikachu's. The Fleet Comm online, sir, Lieutenant Dominique said. The weathered face of Vice Admiral Michael Stanforth appeared on the main view screen. Commander Keyes breathed a sigh of relief. What the heck are you doing? The kitty almost spooked me. I thought she was going to start biting and munching my feet. Commander Keyes breathed a sigh of relief. Vice Admiral Stanforth had a reputation for being reasonable and intelligent. He'd understand the logic of the situation. Commander Keyes, the Vice Admiral said. The old schoolmaster himself, huh? This is the priority channel, son. This better be an emergency. I don't remember what his fucking voice was, but I don't think it was like that. Let me go. For consistency's sake, let me go look at the previous way I voiced him. Give me a second. Let me go ahead and mute this so that only I hear it as I am seeking around. Okay, here we go. I found. Okay, I think I got it pretty good. It's kind of he does have a. I did give him a gravelly, a gruff voice, but it wasn't. I don't think it was similar to what I just did. So let's start over. Start ogre. The black screen. The Covenant killed my book. Okay, let's see. Commander Keys, the Vice Admiral said. I think that sounds a bit more like it. The old school master himself, huh? This is the priority channel, son. This better be an emergency. I think it was something like that. That sounds pretty accurate. Every time I gotta voice a different character, I have to in my head I have a few lines that I repeat to myself to try to get the voice down. And then for Keys is, I don't keep it loaded, son. You'll have to find ammo as you go along. I fucked it up there, but I think I can get it. Okay, this better be an emergency. Commander Keys ignored the obvious condescension. He knew many at FleetCom thought he deserved to command nothing but a classroom, and some probably thought he didn't deserve that. The Sigma Octanus system is about to come under attack, sir. Vice Admiral Stanforth cocked an eyebrow. Cocked, huh? Vice Admiral Stanforth cocked an eyebrow and leaned closer to his screen. I'm requesting that all ships in system rendezvous with the Iroquois at Sigma Octanus 4, and any ships in the neighboring system make best speed here. Show me what you've got, Keys, the Vice Admiral said. Commander Keys displayed the silhouette from the sensor outpost first. Covenant ships, sir. Their silhouettes are overlapped. Our probes resolve them as one mass because slip space is bent by gravity more easily than normal space. I don't think that's a very good Keys voice, but I'm sure I'll get back into it. The Vice Admiral listened to his analysis, frowning. Who's speaking here? Is it Keys? Yeah, okay, it is Keys who's speaking here. That's a little weird. Typically, there's some context and indication as to who's speaking based off the previous paragraph. So the paragraph so here Commander Keys is speaking, saying that that the silhouettes are overlapped, and then there's a new paragraph. It says, the Vice Admiral listened to his analysis, frowning. And then there's a new paragraph here, so I assume the fact that it's a new paragraph indicates that it's Keys, not Stanforth, who's speaking. It's at the bottom of the page too, so it's all like a little wonky. Our probes resolve them as one mass because slip space is bent by gravity more easily than normal space. The Vice Admiral listened to his analysis, frowning. You fought the Covenant, sir. You know how precisely they can maneuver their ships through Wait, there's a typo. I didn't even catch it the first time. Known as in past tense of know. But if it were actually supposed to be past tense, then it would say you've known. But it does not. Okay. What's another of his lines? The Godspeed's part, right? Or no. fuck, I really wish, I don't know why in my head I have this idea that at the end of Reach, Captain Keyes says, Godspeed, Spartan, when he actually says, good luck to you, Spartan. What the heck? Good luck to you, Spartan. You fought the Covenanter. You know precise. You know precise. What the? He turned into like a good old boy there at the end. You fought the Covenanter. You know how precisely they can maneuver their ships through slipstream. I've seen a dozen alien craft appear in normal space, in perfect formation, not a kilometer apart. Yeah, the Vice Admiral muttered. I've seen that too. Wait, I lost his voice. Fuck, I gotta go. Okay. I'm doing too much commentary that I forgot what my Vice Admiral Stanford voice was. Okay, I got it. Oh my goodness, it's getting hot in here. What the heck? Are we close to the end of this chapter? I feel like either. Okay, we are. There's one more page. I was thinking either I'm doing way too much commentary and way too much rereadings, or this is a slightly longer chapter than normal. Okay. Oh wait, I need some more water. Okay, try not to misread or misspeak the rest of this chapter. Challenge impossible. Okay, so Keyes is saying, you fought the Covenanter. You know how precisely they can maneuver their ships through the is it the? You know how precisely they can maneuver. I lost the challenge. You know how precisely they can maneuver their ships through the slipstream. I've seen a dozen alien craft appear in normal space, in perfect formation, not a kilometer apart. Yeah, the Vice Admiral muttered. I've seen that too. All right, Keyes. Good work. You'll get everything we can send. Thank you, sir. You just hang in there, You just hang in there, son. Good luck. Fleet comm out. The view screen snapped off. Sir? Lieutenant Hall turned around. How many Covenant ships? I'd estimate 4 medium-tonnage vessels, he said. The equivalent of our frigates. 4 Covenant ships? Lieutenant Jaggers muttered. What can we do? Do, Commander Key said. Our duty. Begging the commander's pardon, but there are 4 Jaggers began to protest. Keyes cut him off with a glare. Stow that, mister. He paused, weighing his words. Sigma Octanus. I gotta keep repositioning the mic because I keep moving around. Keyes cut him off with a glare. Stow that, mister. He paused, weighing his words. Sigma Octanus 4 has 17 million citizens, Lieutenant. Are you suggesting that we just stand by and watch the Covenant glass the planet? No, sir. His gaze dropped to the deck. We will do the best we can, Commander Keyes said. In the meantime, remove all weapons systems lock. Order missile crews to readiness. Warm up the MAC guns and remove the safeties from one of our nukes. Yes, sir, Lieutenant Hikawa said. An alarm sounded at ops. What the heck is this word? Hysteresis? Reactor hysteresis approaching failure levels, Lieutenant Hall reported. Superconducting magnets overloading. Coolant breakdown imminent. Vent primary coolant and pump it. Vent primary coolant and pump in the reserve tanks, Commander Keyes ordered. That will buy us another 5 minutes. Yes, sir. Commander Keyes fumbled with his pipe. He didn't bother to light the thing this time around, just chewed on the end. Then he put it away. The nervous habit wasn't setting the right example for his bridge commanders? The nervous habit wasn't setting the right example for his bridge officers. He didn't have the luxury of showing his apprehension. The truth was, he was terrified. 4 Covenant ships would be an even match for 7 destroyers. The best he could hope for was to get their attention and outrun them, hopefully distract them until the fleet got out here. Of course, those Covenant ships could outrun the Iroquois as well. Lieutenant Jaggers, he said. Initiate the pro... The pro? Oh my god, I'm not reading District 9 here? What the heck? Or the District 9 or 1984 with the proles and the prawns. I think that's what I had in mind for some reason. Lieutenant Jaggers, he said. Initiate the code protocol. Purge our navigation databases and then generate an appropriate randomized exit vector from the Sigma Octanus system. Yes, sir. He fumbled with his controls. He hung his head, steadied his hands, and slowly typed in the commands. Lieutenant Hall, make preparations to override the reactor safeties. His junior officers all paused for a second. Aye, sir, Lieutenant Hall whispered. We're receiving a transmission from the system's edge, Lieutenant Dominique announced. Frigates Allegiance and Gettysburg are on an inbound vector at maximum speed, ETA 1 hour. Good, Commander Keyes said. That hour might as well be a month. This battle would be over in minutes. He could not fight the enemy. He was severely outgunned. He couldn't outrun them either. There had to be another option. Hadn't he always told his students that when you were out of options, that you were using the wrong tactics? You had to bend the rules, shift perspective, anything to find a way out of a hopeless situation. The black space near Sigma Octanus 4 boiled and frothed. OBS died there for a second on my end, but I think it's fine still on both YouTube and Twitch. So I'll go ahead and take a couple seconds here before I continue. I feel like my break kind of messed up my voices. I think I was fairly confident with my keys before, but now he's just like all over the place. Okay, I'm gonna finish reading this chapter and then take a quick little pee-pee break. Quick little break to take a snack. To get your snacks, to get your drinks. To empty your bladders. Okay. Let me go ahead and reread that last paragraph there. Okay, so ETA on Allegiance and Gettysburg is 1 hour. Good, Commander Keyes said. That hour might as well be a month. This battle would be over in minutes. He could not fight the enemy. He was severely outgunned. He couldn't outrun them either. There had to be a better option. There had to be another option. Hadn't he always told his students that when you were out of options, then you were using the wrong tactics? You had to bend the rules, shift perspective, anything to find a way out of a hopeless situation. The black space near Sigma Octantis 4 boiled and frothed with motes of green light. "Ships entering normal space," Lieutenant Jaggers announced, panic tinging his voice. Commander Keyes got to his feet. He had been wrong. There weren't 4 Covenant frigates. A pair of enemy frigates emerged from slipspace, escorting a destroyer and a carrier. His blood ran cold. He had seen battles in which a Covenant destroyer had made Swiss cheese of UNSC ships. Its plasma torpedoes could boil through the Iroquois' 2 meters of titanium A battle plate in seconds. Their weapons were light years ahead of the UNSC's. "Their weapons," Commander Keyes muttered under his breath. Yes, he did have a third option. "Continue at emergency speed," he ordered, "and come about to heading 032. Lieutenant Jaggers swiveled in his chair. That will put us on a collision course with their destroyer, sir." "I know," Commander Keyes replied. "In fact, I'm counting on doing just that." He's a madman. He's gonna do the Mad Lad thing and just go Leroy Jenkins into two frigates and the destroyer and the carrier. This guy's lost his mind. He's gonna get his whole entire crew killed for literally no reason. For literally no reason. Okay, the next chapter, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a battle. A space battle. So let's see if I can... I think I would definitely have to take a break. And I will do a little pee-peeing because I've had quite a bit of water. And then we will resume with chapter 14. Or 14? 17. Okay. Go ahead, take your break. Make sure you are hydrated. Make sure you have your snacks. And or if you are listening to this as your bedtime story, make sure you're comfy. So give me a couple minutes. No Cupheads for you. I still gotta play Cuphead, but I don't really play just games on stream these days. I could, but I would probably need like a topic I can just spitball about for quite a while. Me has the yawning, sleepings, but I think I can do maybe one, maybe two more chapters. We will see. Okay. Oh, I forgot to do this thingy. My Discord thing. My Discord thingy winky. Okay, let's see if this next chapter, if this battle wakes me up. If it gets me excited. Let's see how tense it is. Is there a game where you can do space battles for Halo? Are there space battles in Halo Wars, or is it just land and air combat? Halo game space combat. I don't think there is. I'm not seeing any positive hits on it. It could probably be like, is EVE Online like one of those things where every single individual person is an actual single individual person on a spaceship? Maybe they would do something like that. Although that would probably piss off the console players for whom Halo is intended as a franchise. They might be a bit too angry that it takes forever. It takes real time to actually play the game. And if you die, you actually have to start over. Okay. Next chapter. Chapter 17. Oh, 320 hours. July 17th, 2552. Military calendar. UNSC Iroquois en route to Sigma Octantis 4. Oh wait, I still didn't do the thingy. Did I? No, I did not. Okay. That time I did it. Sir, finishing this cake. Okay. Now we're ready to go. Chapter 17. Oh, 320 hours. July 17th, 2552. Military calendar. UNSC Iroquois en route to Sigma Octantis 4. Commander Keyes stood with his hands behind his back and tried to look calm. Not an easy thing to do when his ship was on a collision course with a Covenant battle group. Inside, adrenaline raced through his blood and his pulse pounded. He had to at least appear in control for his crew. He was asking a lot from them. Probably everything, in fact. His junior officers watched their status monitors. They occasionally glanced nervously at him, but their gazes always drifted back to the center view screen. The Covenant ships looked like toys in the distance. It was dangerous to think of them as harmless, however. One slip, one underestimation of their tremendous firepower, and the Iroquois would be destroyed. The alien carrier had 3 bulbous sections. Its swollen center had 13 launch bays. Commander Keyes had seen hundreds of fighters stream out of them before. Fast, accurate, and deadly craft. Normally, his ship's AI would handle point defense. Only this time, there was no AI installed. Installed? I was so perfect on these past 2 paragraphs. I fucked it up. I was so close. I was at the very end of that paragraph there too. Normally, his ship's AI would handle point defense. Only this time, there was no AI installed on the Iroquois. The alien destroyer was a third again. Okay. I see what they're trying to say. The alien destroyer was a third again as massive as the Iroquois. She bristled with pulse laser turrets, insect-like antenna, and there it is again, chitinous. How would that be pronounced? Chitinous? The horny substance, the horny ship. The alien destroyer was a third again as massive as the Iroquois. She bristled with pulse laser turrets, insect-like antenna, and chitinous pods. The carrier and destroyer moved together, but not toward Iroquois. They slowly drifted in system toward Sigma Octanus 4. Were they going to ignore him? Glass the planet without even bothering to swat him out of the way first? The Covenant frigates, however, lagged behind. They turned in unison, and their sides faced the Iroquois, preparing for a broadside. Motes of red light appeared and swarmed toward the frigate's lateral lines, building into a solid. Motes of red light appeared and swarmed toward the frigate's lateral lines, building into a solid stripe of hellish illumination. Detecting high levels of beta particle radiation, Lieutenant Dominique said. They're getting ready to fire the plasma weapons, Commander. Course correction, sir? Lieutenant Jaggers asked. His fingers tapped in a new heading-bound out system. Stay on course. It took all Commander Keyes' concentration to say that matter-of-factly. I guess the way I read it then was perfect. Stay on course. It took all... I don't know why my brain is like... It struggles with that opening of that sentence. It took all of his concentration. Stay on course. It took all Commander Keyes' concentration to say that matter-of-factly. Lieutenant Jaggers turned and started to speak, but Commander Keyes didn't have time to address his concerns. Lieutenant Hikawa, Commander Keyes said. Arm a Shiva missile. Remove all nuclear launch safety locks. Shiva, armed. Aye, Commander. Lieutenant Hikawa's face was a mask of grim determination. Set the fuse on radio transmission code sequence detonation only. Disable proximity fuse. Stand by for a launch pilot program. Sir? Lieutenant Hikawa looked confused by his order, then said, Sir! Yes, sir! Making it happen! The alien frigates in the center of the view screen no longer looked remotely like toys to Commander Keyes. They looked real and larger every second. The red glow along their sides had become solid bands, almost too bright to look at. Fuck. It was almost perfect. Almost too bright to look directly at. I guess in my defense, it is fairly weird to end it in at, because you're not supposed to end it in a preposition, but but you can technically break all the rules if you're being artistic enough and you have a good enough reason for it. This entire book is just Arrogant Island trying to use every possible trick in the book to make me misread and hesitate. Right, Arby? Right, Arby? Okay, so the alien frigates in the center no longer looked like keys. They looked real and larger every second. The red glow along their sides had become solid bands, almost too bright to look directly at. Commander Keyes picked up his datapad and quickly tapped in calculations. Velocity, mass, and heading. He wished they had an AI online to double-check his figures. This amounted to no more than an educated guess. How long would it take the Iroquois to orbit Sigma Octinus 4? He got a number and cut it by 50%, knowing they'd either pick up speed or be dead by the time it mattered. Lieutenant Hikawa set the Shiva's course for Mark 180, full burn for 12 seconds. Aye, sir, she said, tapped in the parameters, and locked them into the system. Missile ready, sir. What the heck? What happened? Now YouTube chat is dead? Oh my goodness. Again, everything is dying on me. OBS is dying. YouTube chat is dying. The YouTube and Twitch overlays are dying. Hopefully fairly soon the Covenant are dying. Let's see if that's the case. Okay, in case that killed the stream for a second, let's go ahead and do that again. Okay, so Keyes says, Lieutenant Hikawa set the Shiva's course for Mark 180, full burn for 12 seconds. Aye, aye, sir, she said, tapped in the parameters, and locked them into the system. Missile ready, sir. Sir, Lieutenant Jaggers swiveled around and stood. His lips were drawn into a tight, thin line. That course fires the missile directly away from our enemies. I am aware of that, Lieutenant Jaggers. Sit down and await further orders. Lieutenant Jaggers sat. He rubbed his temple with a trembling hand. His other hand balled into a fist. Commander Keyes linked to the nav system and set a countdown timer on his datapad. 29 seconds. On my mark, Lieutenant Hikawa, launch that nuke. And not a moment before. Aye, sir. Her slender hand hovered over the control panel. Mac guns are still hot, Commander, she reminded him. Divert the energy, keeping the capacitors at full charge, and route them to the engines, Commander Keyes ordered. Lieutenant Hall said, Diverting now, sir. She exchanged a glance with Lieutenant Hikawa. Engines now operating at 150% of rated output. Red line in 2 minutes. Contact, Lieutenant Dominique shouted. Energy plasma torpedoes away, sir. Scarlet lightning erupted from the alien's frigate's twin bolts of fire streaked through the darkness. They looked as if they could burn space itself. The torpedoes were on a direct course for the Iroquois. Course correction, sir? Lieutenant Jaggers' voice broke with strain. His uniform was soaked with perspiration. Negative, Commander Keyes replied. Why did I hold that in so long? Negative, Commander Keyes replied. Continue on this heading. Arm all aft Archer missile pods. Rotate launching arcs 180 degrees. Aye, Lieutenant. Aye, sir. I skipped the sir and went straight to Lieutenant. Aye, sir. Lieutenant Hikawa winkled. Lieutenant Hikawa wrinkled her brow, and then she slowly nodded and silently mouthed, Yes. Boiling red plasma filled half the forward view screen. It was It was beautiful to watch in an odd way, like a front row seat at a forest fire. Keyes found himself strangely calm. This would either work or it would not. The odds were long, but he was confident that his actions were the only option the odds were long, but he was confident that his actions were the only option to survive this encounter. Lieutenant Dominique turned. Collision with plasma in 19 seconds, sir. Jaggers turned from his station. Sir, this is suicide. Our armor can't withstand. Keyes cut him off. Mr. Man your station or I will have you removed from the bridge. Jaggers looked pleadingly at Hikola. We're going to die, Aki. She refused to meet his gaze She refused to meet his gaze and turned back to her controls. You heard the commander, she said quietly. Man your post. Jaggers sat into his seat. Collision with plasma in 7 seconds, Lieutenant Hall said. She bit her lower lip. Lieutenant Jaggers, transfer emergency thrusters controls to my station. Yes. Yes, sir. The emergency thrusters were tanks of trihydrite tetrazine? Is it pronounced tetrazine or tetrazine? I imagine tetrazine. The emergency thrusters were tanks of trihydrite tetrazine and hydrogen peroxide. When they mixed, they did so with explosive force, literally blasting the Iroquois onto a new course. The ship had 6 such tanks strategically placed on hardened points on the hull. Commander Keyes consulted the countdown timer on the datapad. Lieutenant Hikola, fire the nuke. Shiva away, sir. On course. 180 maximum burn. Plasma filled the forescreen. The center of the red mass turned blue. Greens and yellows radiated outward, the light frequencies blue shifting in spectra. Distance 300,000 kilometers, Lieutenant Dominique said. Collision in 2 seconds. Commander Keyes waited a heartbeat, then hit the emergency thrusters to port. A bang resonated the ship's hull. Commander Keyes flew sideways and impacted with the bulkhead. The view screen was full of fire and the bridge was suddenly hot. Commander Keyes stood. He counted the beats of his pounding heart. 1, 2, 3. If they had been hit by the plasma, there wouldn't be anything to count. They would be dead already. Only one view screen was working now, however. Aft camera, he said. The twin bolts of fire streaked along their trajectory for a moment, then lazily arced, continuing their pursuit of the Iroquois. One pulled slightly ahead of its counterpart, so they appeared now like 2 blazing eyes. Commander Keyes marveled at the aliens' ability to direct that plasma from such great distance. Good, he murmured to himself. Chase us all the way to hell, you bastards. Track them, he ordered Lieutenant Hall. Aye, aye, sir, she said. Her perfectly groomed hair was tousled? I assume tousled. 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 Pronunciation. I can't get it from here. Tousled. Is there no pronunciation on this page? What? Why are you a dictionary website in 2023 and you have no pronunciation thingy?
Tousled.
Tousled? Also, that was loud as fuck. Oh my god. Okay, so Commander Keyes says, chase us all the way to hell, you bastards. Track them, he ordered Lieutenant Hall. Aye, sir, she said. Her perfectly groomed hair was tousled. Plasma increasing velocity, matching our speed. Overtaking our velocity now. They will intercept in 43 seconds. Forward camera, Commander Keyes ordered. Commander Keyes ordered. The view screen flashed. The image changed to show the two alien frigates turning to face the incoming Iroquois head-on. Blue lights flickered along their hulls, pulse lasers charging. Commander Keyes pulled back the camera angle and saw the alien carrier and the destroyer were still inbound towards Sigma Octanus 4. He read their positions off his datapad and quickly performed the necessary calculations. Course correction. I saw Jaggers and I thought Jaggers was speaking. That is not who is speaking, and that is not how that is supposed to be read. Course correction, he told Lieutenant Jaggers. Come about to heading 004.25. Declination 000.18. Aye, aye, sir, Jaggers said. 004.25. Declination 00.18. The view screen turned and centered on the enormous. I thought it was going to be a different word. All I see is NLR. I should have had my eyes take a sneak peek ahead. The view screen turned and centered on the enormous Covenant destroyer. Collision course, Lieutenant Hall announced. Impact with Covenant destroyer in 8 seconds. Stand by for a new course correction. Declination minus 000.10. Aye, sir. As Jaggers typed, he wiped the sweat from his eyes and double-checked his numbers. Course online. Awaiting your order, sir. Collision with Covenant destroyer in 5 seconds. Hall said. Oh no, I'm getting PTSD from the last reading where I said I kept confusing hole and hall, and now we have hall. What's next? Hill? Oh my goodness. We have all the H vowel LL words. He also said hell. He said chase us all the way to hell. Oh no. I'm gonna have to make a meme where Commander Keyes says all of them. He gives Lieutenant Hall an order about sending the Covenant to hell by blasting a hole in the Covenant's hull. and then afterward he's gonna say, make them run for the hills. Let's see, where were we? Collision, there we go. Here we go. Okay, so Commander Keyes gave a new course correction for 00.0.1. Aye, sir. As Jaggers typed, he wiped the sweat from his eyes and double-checked his numbers. Course online. Awaiting your order, sir. Collision with Covenant destroyer in 5 seconds, Hall said. She clutched the edge of her seat. The destroyer grew in the view screen, laser turrets and launch bays, bulbous alien protrusions and flickering blue lights. Hold his course, Commander Key said. Sound collision alarm. Switch to undercarriage camera now. Klaxons. What's klaxons? Klaxons. Klaxons. I'm not looking at the band. Klaxons is a warning horn or a signal that's used on a vehicle. Okay, so that's just the collision. The collision. What was it? Collision alarm. Hold his course, Commander Keyes said. Sound collision alarm. Switch to undercarriage camera now. Klaxons blared. What the heck? I get 2 ads? Klaxons blared. The view screen snapped off and on and showed black space. Then a flash of the faint purple-blue hull of a Covenant ship. The Iroquois screeched and shuddered as she grazed the prow of the Covenant destroyer. Silver shields flickered on screen. Then the screen filled with static. Course correction now, Commander Keyes shouted. Aye, sir. There was a brief burn from the thrusters, and the Iroquois nudged down slightly. Hull breach! Command. No, they did it! He fucking did it! Fuck this guy. He wrote it this way just to troll. Hull breach, Lieutenant Hall said. Sealing pressure doors. Aft camera, Commander Keyes said. Guns, fire aft. Archer, missile pods. Oh, Christ. Fuck this guy with the hull in the hall. Aft camera, Commander Keyes said. Guns, fire aft. Archer, missile pods. Missiles away, Lieutenant Hikawa replied. Keyes watched as the first of the plasma torpedoes that had been trailing the Iroquois impacted on the prow of the alien destroyer. The ship's shields flared, flickered, and vanished. The second bolt hit a moment later. The hull of the alien ship blazed and then turned red hot, melted and boiled. Secondary explosions burst through the hull. The Archer missiles streaked toward the wounded Covenant ship, tiny trails of exhaust stretching from the Iroquois to the target. They slammed into the gaping wounds in the hull and detonated. Fires and debris burst from the destroyer. A smile spread across Keyes' face as he watched the alien ship burn, list, and slowly plunge into Sigma Octantis' fort. I was hoping, my brain wanted the apostrophe to be in Octantis, not for. A smile spread across Keyes' face as he watched the alien ship burn, list, and slowly plunge into Sigma Octantis 4's gravity well. Without power, the Covenant vessel would burn up in the planet's atmosphere. Commander Keyes flicked on the intercom. Brace for emergency thruster maneuver. He punched the thruster controls. Explosive force detonated on the starboard side of the ship. The Iroquois nosed toward Sigma Octantis 4. Course correction, Lieutenant Jaggers, he said. Bring us into a tight orbit. Aye, sir. He furiously tapped in commands, diverting engine output through altitude thrusters. The hull of the Iroquois glowed red as it entered the atmosphere. A cloud of yellow ionization built up around the view screen. Commander Keyes gripped the railing tighter. The view screen cleared, and he could see the stars. The Iroquois entered the dark side of the planet. Commander Keyes slumped forward and started breathing again. Engine coolant failure, sir, Lieutenant Hall said. Shut the engines down, he ordered. Emergency vent. Aye, sir. Venting fusion reactor plasma. The Iroquois was abruptly quiet. No rumble of her engines. And no one said anything until Lieutenant Hikawa stood and said, Sir, that was the most brilliant maneuver I have ever seen. Commander Keyes gave a short laugh. You think so, Lieutenant? If one of his students had proposed such a maneuver in his tactics class, he would have given them a C+. He would have told them their maneuver was full of bravado and daring, but extremely risky, placing the crew in the ship in unnecessary danger. This isn't over yet. Stay sharp, he told them. Lieutenant Hikawa, what is the charge status of the MAC guns? Capacitors at 95%, sir, and draining at a rate of 3 per... Capacitors at 95%, sir, and draining at a rate of 3% per minute. Ready, MAC guns, 1 heavy round apiece. Arm all forward Archer missile pods. Aye, sir. The Iroquois broke free of the dark side of Sigma Octantis 4. Fire chemical thrusters to break orbit, Lieutenant Hall. Firing, aye. There was a brief rumble. The screen centered on the backsides of the two Covenant frigates they had passed on the way in. The alien ships started to come about. Blue flashes flickered along their hulls as their laser turrets charged, motes of red collecting along their lateral lines. They were readying another salvo of plasma torpedoes. There was something there, however, that was too small to see on the view screen. The nuke. Keyes had launched that missile in the opposite direction, but its reverse thrust had not completely overcome their tremendous forward velocity. As the Iroquois had screamed over the prow of the destroyer, and as they orbited, oh my goodness, it's getting cold again. Why is it gonna be like this? It's a baby patches. It's a baby patches. I think what I might do is I'll check how long the next chapter is, and if it's short enough, I'll read it as well. Otherwise, we might end here. I feel like this is a good chapter to end on. And also, I want to do more other birthday stuff at home. When you have the tired sleepies and you can't read enough Halo. Okay, where were we? Where did we leave off? Capacitors at 95% and draining at a rate of 3%. Okay, the nuke. There was something else there, however, the nuke. Keyes had launched the missile in the opposite direction, but its reverse thrust had not completely overcome their tremendous forward velocity. As the Iroquois had screamed over the prow of the destroyer, and as they orbited Sigma Octantis IV, the nuke had drifted closer to the frigates, who had fixed their attention solidly on the Iroquois. Commander Keyes tapped his datapad and sent the signal to detonate the bomb. There was a flash of white, a crackle of lightning, and the alien ships vanished as a cloud of destruction enveloped them. Waves of the EMP interacted with the magnetic field of Sigma Octantis IV, rippled with Rainbow Borealis. The cloud of vapor expanded and cooled and faded to yellow, orange, red, and then black dust that scattered into space. Both Covenant frigates, however, were still intact. Their shields, however, flickered once, then went dead. Get me firing solutions for Mac guns, Lieutenant Hukawa. On the double. Aye, sir. Mac gun capacitors at 93%. Firing solution online. Fire, Lieutenant Hikawa. Two thumps resonated the hull of the Iroquois. Lock remaining Archer missile pods on targets and fire. Missiles away, Commander. Twin thunderbolts and hundreds of missiles streaked toward the two helpless frigates. The Mac rounds tore through them. One ship was holed from nose to tail. The other ship was hit on her midline, right near the engines. Internal explosions chained up the length of the ship, bulging the second ship's hull along her length. Archer missiles impacted seconds later, exploding through chunks of hull and armor, tearing the alien ships apart. The frigate that had taken the Mac round in her engines mushroomed, a fireworks bouquet of shrapnel and sparks. The other ship burned, her internal skeletal The other ship burned, her internal skeletal structure showing now. She turned toward the Iroquois, but didn't fire a weapon. Just drifted out of control, dead in space. Position of the Covenant carrier, Lieutenant Hall. Lieutenant Hall paused, then reported, in polar orbit around Sigma Octantis 4, but she's moving at considerable speed. Headed out system, course 045. Alert the Allegiance and Gettysburg of Hyperposition. Commander Keyes sighed and slumped back into his chair. They had stopped the Covenant ships from glassing the planet, saved millions of lives. They had done the impossible, taken on 4 Covenant ships and won. Commander Keyes paused in his self-congratulation. Something was wrong. He had never seen the Covenant run. In every battle he had seen or read about, they stayed to slaughter every last survivor. Or if they were defeated, they always fought to the last ship. Check on that planet, he told Lieutenant Hall. Look for anything. Dropped weapons, strange transmissions. There's got to be something there. Aye, sir. Keyes prayed she wouldn't find anything. At this point, he was out of tricks. He couldn't turn the Iroquois around and return to Sigma Octantis 4, even if he had wanted to. The Iroquois' engines were down for a long time. They were speeding on an out-system vector at a considerable velocity. And even if they could stop, there was no way to recharge the Mac guns, and no remaining Archer missiles. They were practically dead in space. He pulled out his pipe and steadied his shaking hand. Sir, Lieutenant Hall cried. Dropship, sir. Oh my god, dropship, sir? Sir, Lieutenant Hall cried. Dropship. Oh my goodness, I can't say dropships. Dropships, sir. The alien carrier deployed 30. Correction, 34 dropships. I have silhouettes descending on the surface. They're on course for Côte d'Azur, a major population set. I think that's how that's pronounced. Côte d'Azur. Fucking Franchoids. Why they gotta have weird ass things? Côte d'Azur. D'Azur. French Riviera. The Côte d'Azur, also known as French Riviera. Is that how that's pronounced? Let's go have a look. D'Azur pronunciation. To pronounce it in British English, break it down into sounds. Côte d'Azur. Yeah, okay, I said it properly. See, look, I know how to pronounce French. Or I guess it was close enough. Dropship, sir. The alien carrier deployed 30. Correction, 34 dropships. I have silhouettes descending on the surface. They're on course for Côte d'Azur, a major population center. An invasion, Commander Key said. Get fleet comm ASAP. Time to send in the Marines. And that is the end of chapter 17. Okay, let's see how many pages chapter 18 is. 2. Fuck, I gotta borrow it again. It has to troll me one last time with the borrow before I can preview how many pages we have left for the next chapter. Okay, chapter 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pages. No, okay, I think we'll end there. It's 10 o'clock. I am tired. I started tired, but I had the energy for that, and I think that was a great chapter to end on the space battle of Commander Keyes and his successful battle against 4 Covenant ships. And then I think next chapter will be a land battle on the surface of Sigma Octantis 4. Okay, we're on page 180. Let me write that down. Page 180. We only read about 30 pages today, but that's okay. You're still making good progress. That was fun. That was a fun chapter. I think maybe if for next chapter it's going to be a land battle, a battle on the planet, maybe we'll get some grunts and some jackals and some elites and maybe some other blue-skinned Alamouse who look like humanoid women and are also quite robust and quite curvy, and who may or may not also exist in the Mass Effect universe. But we will see. That's what we can hope of and dream. And holy crap, I am actually really tired. While I was reading, I didn't really feel it, but now that I'm not focusing on the page or trying to focus on pronouncing things properly and reading ahead with my eyes so that I know what words to say, I definitely feel the tiredness. I definitely feel the tired sleepy. Phew. Okay, well, that was a very fun three chapters, was it? We read 15, 16, 17. So yeah, that was a very fun 3 chapters. I hope it was as fun for you as it was for me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I think I got the commander key voice, or at least the commander inflection and tone down, but I think I still gotta work on the keys a bit. Patches? I think at times he did sound a little bit like keys in the game, but not always. But I think I do like making him sound very, very focused, very unafraid, very commanding. I think I like that voice for keys. Patches. Phew. Okay. I don't think I have anything, any memes that I can put here first before I leave. Patches? No. Come here. Come here. Okay, no, I got no memes. I am fresh out of memes. I got nothing cool to leave you with, unfortunately. Other than mayhaps, some pretty cool music, like this one. I wasn't sure how long I was going to stream, but I am glad that I did 2.5 hours. I didn't think I would have had enough energy, but I did. And so I appreciate all of you being here to listen to Halo The Fall of Reach, my birthday stream. If you want to support, as always, there are links here. And there is Twitch. And there is YouTube's. If you want to get me anything for my birthday, you can donate, you can tip, you can do Amazon wish list, you can do Amazon gift card. I appreciate any and every bit of support you are able to provide. Patches! You weirdo. Okay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for inviting me into your home. Take care of yourselves. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. Tell your friends. Tell your family. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.